And I think we are live now. Here we go for race 8 at Monza. As the first driver to leave the pits is Rock in the Haas. And Rock is gonna be the first driver to start a flying lap in this qualifying session. Closely followed by Axie. As Rock now goes through the final corner to start his first flying lap. As he seems to have gotten through that first chicane quite swiftly, he's now coming up to the first sector line to put in a 26.3, and Axie does a 26.2, almost a tenth faster. As Rock is now heading through Lesmo 2 onto the second ERS straight, getting some nice slipstream here from that McLaren as she's now gone through Ascari down to the back straight to the final corner. As he's now gone through the final corner, going up to the line, he's gonna put in a 199, which is not great, as Axie right after puts in a 19.5. And then I think the first driver to put in a lap after that is nobody apparently, as we'll follow Nick, who's just gone through the first chicane. Now in turn 3. He's done a 26.1 to the first sector, which is purple at the moment, as he's now heading through Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2. Ooh, and he had a little bit of moment on that exit. Now at the second sector, a 52.8. And he's gone through Ascari down on the back straight. And Face has put in a time of a 24, which isn't great either. And then Timex with a 20.3. As Nick then crosses the line and sets a 19.5. Just 0.05 of a second faster than Axie. And I'm thinking we're gonna see quite a bit of faster laps here in this qualifying session, as Soti now is coming up to the line with a 20.0. I think we're gonna have to see a lot of improvements if some of our championship contenders want to take pole. As Fraser now is coming up to the second sector with a 53.6, which I don't think is great either. As we see Santero slip into P3 with a 19.7. And then Fraser with a 20.7 in P11. We have I think Neon is gonna be the first to cross the line with a purple second sector. Let's see what he can do. Heading through the final corner. And he gets traffic. He gets held up by a McLaren of Lighty. And he aborts his fastest lap attempt. Or his qualifying lap attempt. And we have Jormager who's invalidated. And next up is Liam. And he doesn't seem to have the greatest of times, but let's see what he can do with this final sector now, heading through the final corner. Going tightly up to the line to save as much time as possible with a 20.2 in P8. Almost everyone is in the pit right now. And let's see who's on a lap here. Axie seems to be on a lap and is improving by 0.08 of a second. Not that much, but right now heading through Lesmo 2. And he's open his DRS. And he's now heading down to the final corner. Coming up to the line, putting in a 19.4, which is provisional pole at the moment. And we can see Nix also seems to be on a lap. Now, heading up to the line, taking a wider exit. And it's a 20.6, he might try again right after. As he's now headed through, oh, and he has a big slide on the exit of turn 2. That can't have been good for his lap time or his tires. Yeah, he's a tenth of his previous time. And he's invalidated. So we're moving on to Kloptis, yeah. Ooh, and he hits those apexes nicely, getting a good exit out of that first chicane. And it's a 26.4. That's about 3/10 of the fastest, I think, if I remember correctly. As Nix has retired in Ascari, let's see if we can see what has happened, as Face is coming up to that part of the track on his outlap. Yeah, he's just shunted it into the wall. But Kloptik Air has invalidated too, and Fraser has put in a 2 minute 45. Or 1 minute 20 maybe, I don't know. Vetsky is improving by 1.5 tenths to the first sector. Now coming up to the second sector line, and he's put in a purple middle sector. Let's see if he can keep his pace, and he seems to have a bit of a moment there in Ascarius. There's a tire on the right, just chilling. And let's hope it doesn't get any traffic like Neon Volleyball did. And he's gone through the final turn, and he's gone into the pits. Must not have been happy with his time, as Face also is improving by a tenth, now going through Lesmo 2 onto the second ERS straight. Coming up to Ascari and the second sector line, and he puts in a 53.2, which is pretty good, as it's a purple second sector, improving by 2/10, but that's only gonna get him to P8. No, not even P8. What am I saying? P9 at best. So he has to do something miraculous here in the last sector if he wants to get higher than that. And it's gonna be a 90. No, it's a 20.2. Yeah, P9. No one seems to be on a lap right now except Axios on an out lap, but that's not too interesting to watch. The Raptors might be trying here, as he has a 26.2 to the first sector, which is very good actually. It's a purple first sector. Let's see what he can do. Heading through Lesmo 2 now. And he seems to get a good exit out of there, which can be quite tricky if you go too wide onto the gravel. Now in Ascari with a 53.8, purple second sector too. Nick's pole might be up for grabs here for the Raptors. So, heading through the final corner now, as most people are gonna start coming out of the pits now for their final attempt here. And it's a 20.1, not too great. And he goes straight on in turn 1. And Axie is improving by more than 1.5 tenths. And it's now going up to the line. And is he gonna take that pole? And it does, by 7/100ths of a second. His own provisional pole, with 3 minutes left in this qualifying session. as I think nobody else is on a lap. Or let's see, Vetsku seems to be on one with a 53.2 to the second sector, improving by 4/10. That's gonna get him up to P10, I think. So he needs to improve here in his last sector if he wants to get in that top 10. So through the final turn here, going up to the line. And it's what's it gonna be? It's gonna be 20.6, which is P9. And Neon doesn't seem to be on a lap either, so but he might start one here. So let's see what he can do. Yeah, coming up to turn 1. Nicely through that first chicane. And he has clear air ahead of him for quite the bit, and he's improving a teeny tiny bit, 2,000 of a second. Very tight here. Now on the second DRS straight. Coming up to a score in the second sector line, and he's improving by a 10th. Which isn't good enough for the top 5, or barely is good enough for the top 5. So let's see what he can do in this final sector to improve that. Our season 2 champion here, coming up to the line. And it's a 19.8, which he stays in the same spot as he started. As we can probably see Nick here starting his final attempt. Or somebody else that's closer to the line. I think it's Santero that's coming up to the line, and he went P4, I think. Yeah, he did. As Axie has invalidated this last attempt, and we can see Morris is also invalidated, and Jarmo here improving by a 10th in the second sector. Coming up to the line as Vetsku's taking checkered flag for P10, and Jair Newlands hasn't even set a time, starting P19 in the race. Rock has taken the checkered flag too with a 19.4 and stays P3, as Jarmo has improved into P11. And then next to the line is the McLaren of Nick, I'm pretty sure, who stays P2 too. That's a lot of twos in one sentence. And Basmodirisi has gone P3 in the Red Bull, as Liam here is improving by 3.5 tenths. As an AlphaTauri, I think it is, crosses the line. And he goes P6. Slight improvement, but I think he'll take it, as Santero doesn't seem to be on a lap. Axie is improving actually by 1.5 tenths at the second sector, so let's see what he does here in the final. He goes 19.0. Impressive from the Ferrari driver, as he's invalidated, and I think Suti isn't on a lap either. Yeah, no one's on a lap. So the starting order for the race is gonna be a Ferrari of Axie in P1, then the McLaren of Nick, and then Basmati, and then Rock, Santero, Liam, Lighty, Sudi, Neon, Dave Raptor, Svetsku, Yarmo, Face, Timex, Morris, Nix, Fraser, Klupit, I think it is, and Newlands P19. So let's see what's gonna happen in the race. Oh, and it's raining. This is gonna add some spice to their meal. As my controller is disconnected. And it seems like it's actually full wet conditions here, so a lot of rain. Let's see how our drivers will cope with this. Did the stream crash? Oh, and we're starting. And we're heading down into turn 1. And no massive dive bombs, as everyone seems to be going wide. Oh my. Chaos in the background, people cutting the chicane. Oh my, so many 5-second penalties. It's chaos here at Monza. Santero is down 14 positions after just turns 1 and 2. Axis seems to have gotten away pretty well, leading now. And there's another corner cutting incident, I think, back in the background. Oh, and there's cars getting hit, and they're like 4 wide here. This is some crazy scenes. As Liam is also down 12 positions, I think he's spun. This is incredible, and this predicted strategy is actually a 1 stop on wets or a 2 stop. So let's see what our drivers pick. As we can see here, drivers are cutting everywhere. It seems to be treacherous conditions here, and they're going wide. I think we're gonna see a lot of spins here. So this race isn't gonna be about going fast, it's gonna be about being consistent. Oh, and as we see, Klopp did go for it on the outside, but he has a moment. He almost made it work. He's up 6 positions though. Same is for Dave Raptors, up 6 positions, but he seems to have a 5-second time penalty here. Let's check. Yeah, Nick and VS 3-second penalty, and Rock has overtaken Nick for P2. He must have made a mistake, as Timex now goes through for P6. And Face is going through for P7. Neon Volatile is dropping positions rapidly as he tries to follow suit, as they seem to be oh my, there seems to be contact here. And the battle at the back is still going on like it never stopped. As Fraser is trying to go on the outside of Lesmo 2, but he gets stuck behind Jormo. And that lets Morris slide through for P13 here. Oh my. Incredible scenes as they now go through a score, and someone's gone wide again. They must have had a giant snap of oversteers. No one has prepared with the wet setups. Morris looking to make a move on Nick on the inside in the final turn, and it seems to have made it work as Nick tries to stick it on the outside, but the grip doesn't seem to be there. But he has the better exit, but he has a little bit of a moment. They're side by side down there trying straight, but Nick has the better straight line speed, so let's see what Morris can do in the braking. Is he gonna make a dive? He doesn't. And he slots in behind as we see Kloptik, I think, overtake Newlands, as Newlands has a little bit of wheel spin with. And actually seems to have been caught by Rock, who's very close behind, and he has a moment. Getting through early on this throttle. But he does get back in Lesmo 1. Let's see what if he can get that run out of Lesmo 2. He doesn't seem to get close enough, but he has the better straight line speed, it seems like. As Lighty, I think it is trying to make a move on Dave Raptors, getting so close. It's within 2/10 of the Williams. Is he gonna make a move into the final corner? He looks a little bit on the outside, but Dave Raptors isn't gonna let that happen. Let's see if Lighty, and he does a little bit of a switchback, I guess. But now back to the outside, slotting in behind, trying to get that slipstream to get past. And he's closing. Same as with Rock here, closing in, but nobody seems to make a move. As Vetsku is going past Neon down into turn 1, and Neon makes a dive to get his position back, but Vetsku keeps it tight, and he gets the better exit. And now Neon is under attack by Face, who's trying to go around him. And Lighty has made a move for P3, and it seems to have made it work. But now Dave Raptors is back on the inside. They're going through Lesmo 2 now, and I think Dave Raptors is gonna keep the position. Oh no, he isn't, because he gets a moment on the exit, and my controller has died again. What the hell? Okay. Unfortunate. They're still side by side going through a score. This is a great battle for P3. And it seems to have made it work now, as they're heading out of a score. Oh, and someone's in the gravel. Who's in the gravel? I think it is Kloppet who's been in the gravel. As he's gone over, he's lost so many positions here that he made up in the start. And unfortunately, we have 2 Red Bulls at the back. Leon is closely following Yarmo, as there's a really tight battle here. And they're side by side actually, Nick and Nyx, I think, or they were. As they're now heading 3 wide into turn 1. Who's gonna pull out on top here? And I think it's gonna be Nick, as someone makes a dive and he rams into Nick. It's Kloppitz who's made that incredible dive. But Nyx gets the switchback on everyone. But Nick is so close behind, and they make contact and they spin off into the gravel. And Morris has managed to avoid that and is now in P11, as we see Nick and Nyx in the gravel. Getting overtaken, losing positions, losing time to the leaders. As this race has, as the drivers have seemed to spread out a bit, but there's still quite a lot going on, as Nyx gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Oh boy, this has been incredible, and as we catch Face spinning into the wall, getting damaged, is this gonna bring out the safety car? Doesn't seem like it, and he's getting passed by everyone. Clopit is now back into P10 actually. And let's check here. Who's gained the most position? It's actually Newlands who started P19. He's in P9 with 10 positions gained. And Rock has taken the lead from Axi. How could we have missed this? Axi is still close behind as they're now catching up to Basmonti in the Red Bull, and he's probably gonna get lapped there as Jarmo has retired after Ascari, but there's still no safety car. And now I think there's a safety car or a VSC. Yeah, it's a full course safety car. This is gonna cause some more chaos, bringing all the drivers closer to each other again. Quite a hectic race. And we actually see Rock pitting, and everyone seems to be pitting. Are they gonna go long? Let's see. Someone continues. It's Dave Raptors. And now we have multiple strategies battling against each other. Are they actually gonna make it to the end on this stint? 20 laps on the wets. Can they take it, or are they not gonna last? As the Raptors is now formed up behind the safety car, the rest of the drivers are gonna catch up, and there seems to have been some issues in the pit as I think, wait, has Kloptik actually changed tires? No, he hasn't. That's why he's gone ahead. The Rock is still leading on the ones that out of the ones that have pitted. Liam isn't pitting either. On his 4-lap year wets, he's probably gonna try to take those to the end. That might be quite risky, but let's see if he can make that strategy work.
Visste du det här tidigare?
And Dave Raptors has burned it into the wall behind the safety car. Quite unfortunate for him. As now Timex is leading the race. He's one of the two that hasn't pitted yet, so he might lose out from this. There's still a long way for everyone to get back behind the safety car. Especially the Red Bull of Bus, who's almost getting lapped still. And Nick has gotten disqualified for going the wrong way. That's unfortunate for him, I guess. But the show must go on. And almost everyone is caught up. I think where the safety car is gonna come in the next lap, I'm pretty sure. So I think everyone except Bus is gonna catch up. This is gonna be one crazy restart. Full wets at Monza. One long straight. There's gonna be a lot of craziness into turn 1, I'm guessing. So we're only waiting for Face and Bus to catch up now. And yeah, Bus is like a 2/3 of a lap behind, and Face is for some reason in the pit lane. So let's see, is the safety car coming in this lap? Or is it staying out for another? No, it's coming in. Which is unfortunate for the ones who haven't caught up yet, but I guess they had their chance, as Timex is now leading the pace. Trying to get that final bit of warmth into those tires before the start to have the most grip he can in these wet conditions, to not spin at the restart he's controlling. So let's see, going through the final turn now, when is he gonna go? And it's gone. I think it's gone, yeah, it's gone. And he didn't seem to catch anyone off guard. Everyone's so close. They're all tucked into the slipstream. Is someone gonna make a dive for it? Kloppit might actually make a dive for it. Oh, and let's see. He goes for it, and he seems to have gotten it done. But it's gone wide. He missed his braking point. He missed the corner. He's gone in the runoff. And Timex is now leading. He's gotten a time penalty even after he slowed down. This is crazy. And Rock's actually in P2 again, even though he pitted, and he's making a move for P1. But he doesn't seem to get it done. Now getting in behind, as we can see here, the train of cars behind, and there's Lighty getting past Axie. And Kloppit is down in P6. This hasn't seemed to have worked out for him. Oh, and someone's in the wall. I think someone went in the wall. Yeah, it was Suti. Oh, and they're in a scar. Oh my god, and someone's going through. And Liam, it's Santero. I think we have some desync in this lobby. That's crazy. He just drove under him, and they're on top of each other right now. And someone's gonna end up in the wall pretty soon, I'm thinking. Now we can see Rock trying to size up Timex here and go for a move on him down into turn 1. And some bus has gone on a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And it's on the inside into turn 1, and he has the line, and he's made it through, but he gets hit, goes a bit wide on the exit. As Vetskus made up so many places, and I think Timex spun it. He spun round on the exit, and now Lighty is in P2. And there's someone else spun. I think it was Morris who spun it in turn 3. That should be flat out. Newland started P19, is now P7 after all this chaos. Well done from him, avoiding all of this. As Light is trying to make a move on Rock for P1, or Rock, who actually won the PS Tier 1 championship in Season 1. Now competing in the crossplay division here. That's all we got, but still. He has some respect to his name. But Lighty is closing up into the front corner, but he's not gonna make a move. I think he wants that slipstream on the long straight, and someone's retired. Yeah, someone shunted it into the wall after Lesmo 2, and there's a virtual safety car. And that car is in the middle of the road, quite dangerously parked. I'm surprised there isn't a full core safety car right now. As everyone here seems to be almost within a second of another from P1 to P10, all point positions. There's gonna be a huge battle for those in these final 15 laps, as there actually is a full core safety car, so we're gonna have another few laps behind, which might help the ones that didn't pit during the safety car, or the one that's pitted before it, like Liam here in P7. But let's check on the penalties now, as no one's gotten more than 5. Yeah, a lot of 3-second time penalties. One for Liam, one for Nix, one for Face, and one for Kloppit. And the one with the most positions gained is actually Fraser in P3 with 14 positions gained. And then it's Newlands in P6 after starting P19. And Fraser started P17. What a drive from him. And Timex has left the session for some reason. Although he is in last. But everyone seems to have caught up almost to the safety car now. So I think everyone still has a shot of it. And I think the safety car is gonna come in this lap as everyone is caught up to the safety car queue. And there's gonna be another hectic restart with a lot of positions up for grabs and a lot of overtakes and a lot of crazy battles. So grab a snack and get ready. And yeah, Rock is now controlling the pace and he's gonna decide when to go. And he's now going through the final corner. He's probably gonna leg it at any moment. And he's went for it. But he doesn't seem to get a big gap. Only 3/10. That's not gonna be enough as the Lady has what seems to be a lower downforce setup with a higher top speed, and so does Oxy. They seem to have them dry setups on, but Rock leads into turn 1, goes pretty wide, cuts the curb, and no one can get past. Never seen a defense like that, as Timex has left the session once again after rejoining. And Neon seems to have been spun around by someone. And Fraser is up into P3 ahead of Axie now. And Liam is in P6 on those 12 lap old wets. Will they make it to the end? That's gonna be interesting to see here. As Lighty is trying to make a move on Rock here. Oh, and Rock has a moment. This might be Lighty's chance if he got the better exit. But it didn't seem to put the throttle down good enough. He might get overtaken here actually by Fraser. And everyone seems to have made it except Neon here and Suti, who might have been spun around or something. Oh, and someone's in the wall. Oh, another car. 2 cars that are in the wall. Oh my, and there's another safety car. I think we're gonna see some pit stops on this one actually. Now, to guarantee that they can go to the end. Oh, but nobody does pit. This might be interesting, as Timex has rejoined once again. Yeah, your Comer, the Raptors, yeah, he's out. Unlucky for you that your driver isn't among us anymore. Rock is still leading this race somehow. And yeah, another safety car, another restart, some more chaos. I think we're gonna have another lap with the safety car, then it might go in, or 2 more laps. Hopefully just one, so we can get some more racing action here, but I guess we'll be fine with whatever, cause this has been a very action-packed race. As the order right now is Rock in P1, Lighty P2, Fraser P3, Axie P4, Newlands P5, Liam P6, Face P7, Clopit P8, Vetsku P9, Morris P10, and then out of the points we have Timex in P11, then Suti P12, Neon P13, and Santero P14, and then Nix P15. So let's see what's gonna happen in these last 10 laps, as I think the safety car is coming in. Yeah, it is. Let's hope for a little bit more clean restart this time. Hopefully nobody else gets taken out, spun around into turn 1. This Rock is weaving like crazy trying to get that temperature into those tires. And we're off, and Light is just 1/10 behind. It's gonna be... Oh, there's gonna be a lot of moves down into turn 1. But no one gets past. Oh, and he's on the inside and he hits... Fraser hits Lighty. Fraser hits Lighty and Fraser gets pushed out into the gravel and he comes onto the track and blocks, I think it's Vetsku, and someone's hitting the boards. Here in the background, I think that's Timex who went off onto the grass. And I think Liam's moved up into P5 somehow. And Fraser's dropped to P7, that might be why. Not too good for Fraser here at the restart, as Lighty is still hunting Rock. But Newlands, who started P19, is now in P3 hunting for that win. Let's see what he can do. If we can get it back on the screen. Yeah, so I think Neon's trying to make a move on Face here into the final corner, but he might make it into turn 1. And everyone has like a full battery now, so they're gonna deploy it all on this straight, probably trying to get the move done. As we see Newlands closing up on Lighty, and he's looking to make the move, but he doesn't. And Cloptis and Fraser are scrambling back here for P7, no, P6. And Clopit stays ahead as he has the inside line in turn 2. But Fraser is stuck it on the inside, and he has a moment, he's in the wall as Nix has retired. And Salteris in the pit. And there's a yellow flag in sector 3 for some reason. But okay, let's... yeah, Rock still leading ahead of Lighty. And Newlands has actually dropped back a bit, down to 8/10. That seems to be the recurring theme. The only one who's actually really close is Vetsku, who's trying to get past Fraser here. Let's see. He's closing up, and Fraser's also closing up on Liam, who is on those older tires and has less grip. He's gonna be struggling, while the others are out here on newer tires with better grip, which is gonna be better in these low grip conditions, as it already is, as Liam's already dropped 1 second to Axie in P4, and Rock sets the fastest lap of the race at 1:31.3. And Axis dropped a second to Newlands, who's almost dropped a second to Light, who's almost also dropped a second to Rock. But Fraser and Vetsku are still trying to climb. And so is Morris, who's caught up. I think there's a train forming behind Liam, who seems to be holding everyone up. So let's see if they can get past. Fraser is 2/10 behind. He's waiting for his moment to strike on that Red Bull in front. They're now heading through Decimal 1. He's gotten even closer. It's only meters away, and they almost seem to touch as they go through Decimal 2, and it's gone wide and has a bit of a moment. And Vetsku has now closed up on Fraser, and he might be the one getting overtaken instead of overtaking. But Vetsku doesn't make a move for it. But Morris is battling with his teammate Neon, who tried it on the inside into a Ascari, which is quite risky, but it didn't work. Let's see now, as Neon seems to be under attack out of Face, and someone's getting spun around, and it was Neon. I think Face spun him out. So unfortunate for our Tier 1 champion of last season, as Liam's still struggling here. But he seems to pull the gap to Fraser. And Newland sets the fastest lap as he's trying to close up on Lighty. I think he wants that win. He wants that last to first. Newlands is something. Let's see here. Who do we was battling? Yeah, we have Vetsku, who's chasing. He's actually almost making a dive for it, and he's gone very wide, and he's cut the corner a bit. I think he's gotten a warning for that. He's so close to Fraser, and Fraser is so close to Liam. They're basically touching here as they go through Lesmo 2, and this time he didn't go wide, he didn't get a moment. I think he's gonna get this move done on Liam into a Ascari. But is Liam gonna protect the inside, or is he gonna take normal line? Oh wait, Fraser doesn't go for it. He's slotting in behind as they both cut the corner a little bit there. And now Fraser is going for it. He's already alongside. I think he's gonna make this work here into the final corner, but he is on the outside, and Liam seems to have the better straight line speed. Let's see here what happened. Fraser, he got through, and now Vetsku is trying to make the move on Liam. Liam is struggling on these old wets, but Liam's gotten back through. He's made a lunge down the inside, and he seems to have made it work, but he hits the curb, and now Vetsku's gone through too, and I think Morris is also trying to work his way around. But he doesn't, he slots him behind. Trying to get that slipstream here. Oh, this is very intense, as Fraser's already gapped. No, they haven't pulled the gap. Let's see, is Fraser catching up to Axie? He doesn't seem to be catching that much. Or he is catching by quite a bit there in the Lesmo corners. And he's also pulling a gap to Vetsku and Liam behind. Morris is still chasing here. Chasing Liam. He's within 3/10 of him, as Morris gets a penalty. Newlands is also within that penalty range of Lighty in front, so he's actually in P2. And Lighty actually has a 5-second penalty. But Vetsku and Liam and everyone behind who's close to Fraser is technically gonna be in front, as Fraser actually has 6 seconds of penalty. 6 seconds worth of time penalties. But Morris here is also trying to get past, catch up to the drivers in front, as Neon is now setting the fastest lap. And someone's retired. Clopit has retired in Ascari. Let's see what happened. Yeah, he's shunted it into the wall and bounced back out onto the track basically. And there's another safety car. Is there gonna be a final set of pit stops, or are they gonna go to the end on these tires? This will be quite interesting to see how this ends now. With a short sprint, it's gonna be like a 1 lap, 2 lap sprint for the race win. This is very unfortunate for everyone with time penalties, who's gonna lose out even more now. Oh, and this is gonna be interesting. Liam is on the old tires. Is he gonna stay out, or is he gonna go in? Not gonna risk getting a puncture in these final laps. Let's see. Yeah, he stays out. He stays out. I think the safety car is gonna come in the same lap too. But Face and Timix pits. The Williams and the Alpine. And Neon gets back past. Let's see if he has better luck this time, not getting spun around. For the 3rd time that would be if he gets spun again. 3 laps left of this Italian Grand Prix. And the race order is still Rockin' P1, Lenlighty P2, and Newlands, who has climbed to P3 since the last safety car, and then Axie P4, Fraser P5, Vetsku P6, Liam P7, Morris P8, Suti P9, Neon P10, still in the points. And we got Face P11, Timix P13, and Santero P13. 2 Alpines at the back. And everyone's caught up to the safety car now except Santero. And Vetsku has actually dropped some positions here, and Liam's back up to P6. What a turn of events. And the safety car's coming in. 2 laps of racing until the finish line. Let's see if Rock's gonna be able to keep P1, or if anyone's gonna be able to take it from him. He's been consistent through this race and he's led most of it. And hopefully we don't see any punctures here, as the tires are getting quite worn, I'm guessing, as they've gone 18 laps, most of them, some even 22. And he's gone. He's tried to pull away, but it seems like Lighty actually stayed with him pretty well, 2 tenths behind. He might make a move into turn 1, he most likely won't, it's a quite big of a lunge. And Axis made a move on Newlands, and Newlands is back into P4. Let's see what's going on here. And Newlands, oh, and there's a lot of traffic, and Liam has a big moment. Oh, and someone else in the background has a big moment. Liam's in P7, Vetsku's caught back up to P6, and Newlands in P5, and behind Axie and Fraser managed to sneak through. And Lighty and Rock are battling, and Vetsku gets a 5-second time penalty for exceeded track limits, and Vetsku gets another for corner cutting. And Rock has been able to keep Lighty and Allen, but Fraser is catching up to the battle for P1 and P2 and P3, but Lighty and Fraser already have penalties, so they might not be able to compete with Rock here for the win, who seems to be able to keep this one for himself if he doesn't make a mistake. Liam's up into P5 somehow, and Neon has retired from session in a big crash, it seems like, in a scar here. Someone spun around, and its face was spun around, and where has Neon retired? He's spun it into the wall somewhere where I can't see. And Rock is leading, and Lighty and Fraser are trying to get past. Lighty and Fraser seem to be fighting for position. There's only 1 second penalty difference, so Fraser has like 1 second gap on Lighty, and he seems to get past. But he has a moment on the exit, and Lighty gets the better exit as Axie is trying to catch up, and Liam has a little bit of a moment there too on the exit. And there seems to be no other battles than the one for P2. Incredible stuff. Oh, and Lighty hits the back of Rock. Oh, and Fraser makes a dive on the inside into Lesmo 1, and he gets past. He seems to push Lighty a bit off track, but he's still side by side in Lesmo 2, and Lighty gets... No, he doesn't get the switchback. He tried it, and Liam's trying to overtake Axie for P4 here on his 24 lap old wets. He doesn't get past. He might try later on, as he's still very close. Now coming out of a score, he seems to have gotten vector exit. Oh, and he's trying to pull up alongside, but he doesn't have straight line speed, it seems like. Is he gonna make a lunge for it? And someone's spun it round, and I think that's... No one seems to spun it around. Okay, there was the elephant. And Liam spins it in the final corner. He might have made contact with someone, spinning him out. And actually keeps P4 and to finish crossing the line here. Liam's still gonna get some points, I think, but not as many as he hopes for. And Sutis managed to get on the podium with Axie, who's gone P2, and Rock, who stayed solid this entire race, claiming P1. Wow, what an incredible race. And poor Newlands, who drove so well this entire race, ended up back in P12 after starting 19th and being P3 on lap 24, now on lap 27. Somewhere in between, disaster struck and he ended up P12.
Klar Malte, eller? Ja, bra. Vidare.
It's a double podium for Harris here, actually. The finishing order is Rock P1, Axe C, P2, Suti P3, Lighty P4, Fraser P5, Morris P6, Timix P7, Liam P8, Santerre P9, Face P10, Vetsku P11, Newlands P12, and the rest didn't finish. Well, Niamvalio ended up P13, even though he crashed out 2 laps before the finish.